Welcome to Swift Coaches Academy, a podcast dedicated to bringing health and wellness professionals the uncensored truth behind what it really takes to succeed in the health industry with me, your host, Xenia Wood. As an accredited exercise physiologist and business owner for almost a decade, I'm on a mission to transform the lives of ambitious health professionals like you who want more and are ready to take action to create incredible impact in your careers and unlock financial freedom in your business. So join me as I speak candidly with industry leaders about the struggles and successes from within the trenches through thought-provoking conversations. Welcome back to another episode of Swift Coaches Academy. Today, we are talking all things for the in-person coaches. So I'm going to be explaining to you how to walk the gym floor and turn those conversations into clients, or maybe you're not even having those conversations yet. So I'm going to teach you how to make them not feel awkward and icky and break the ice in a really, really non-threatening way. And then how to really give them value, how to leave them wanting more so that you can transition maybe 10, 15-minute conversations into sale opportunities with confidence. Instead of wasting 20, 30, an hour of your precious time creating relationships with people who are not going to actually pay you. Now, this is not to say that you only create relationships with people who are going to pay you, but when you are at your workplace and you are trying to add value and you need more clients, coach, then we want to make sure that we're turning those conversations into potential sale opportunities. And if people don't want that, then that's okay. You can move on to someone else, but recognizing that in that time when you're working and walking the gym floor, I'm going to teach you exactly the strategies that I did and how I did them. Today is going to actually be a live coaching segment from inside our Biz Academy program. So you're going to see me giving real live advice and feedback and conversations from one or a couple of our students inside our mentorship program. This is one you are not going to miss. It's all strategy, all real life feedback, and it is going to get you at least 10 initials this week from walking the gym floor. So without further ado, let's dive in. I know you also had a big goal that you mentioned to me earlier that was trying to get 10 clients in the next 2 weeks. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I've just been doing all the lead gen, and I've been trying to walk the floor a bit, but I'm just not that great at the marketing side of things. So I'm just trying to focus on what I'm good at. But I would like to get better at the marketing. I'm just not that great at it, I guess. But I did pick up 2 new clients, a couple of leads coming in tomorrow. I'm trying to contact as many people as I can whenever I get a chance. So see how we go.
Fantastic.
And some more in the, I'm just trying to think of it like a funnel, get as many people as I can, fill up every free spot I've got.
Yeah.
And just offer complimentary sessions.
When they get in front of you, you're pretty sweet, right? Like your hit rate's pretty good.
Yeah.
We just need people in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the main thing, just people in front of me. What I tend to do if I walk the floor, say there's an old guy that I helped out the other day, and his bench press could only move like this far. Mm-hmm. And his shoulders and his posture, he's a lawyer, and his back was right rounded, and said, well, I see you training in here all the time, but I don't see you ever stretching. So we probably ought to do a little bit of mobility and earn the right to do like some heavier weights. And he said, yeah, I've had sore shoulders, etc. So I helped him out, but I didn't ask the question of like, are you interested or have you ever had a PT? That was last week, but I might see him around tomorrow morning, and I can offer this to him and see what he says. Definitely got to ask the question. Yeah. It's like... Yeah, it was my mistake the other day. I kind of kicked myself for it.
That's all right. We all make mistakes. It's like having like the best date of your life with someone and then not asking for their fucking phone number. Like, what?
Yeah.
Generally, in this day and age, it goes the other way around. But like, let's say that you met someone and you're like, oh, and you were chatting to them in the street, or you actually met them in real life for once, and then you didn't ask them for their number. It's like,
yeah,
silly.
You got to do it.
Yeah, fucking oath, you got to do it. But also, they're probably waiting for you to ask. They want you to ask. They want your help.
Right.
They just might not know how to ask for that or what that looks like.
And the thing that I think this comes down to is the confidence of it. I always refer this back to when a physio will say, you've torn your ACL, it's going to require 9 months of rehab, and you're going to need to do this, 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 and this. And then they say, bye. You're like, when do I come back? Like, you just told me I had to do 9 months of rehab. Why the fuck didn't you rebook me? Like, if you hear it like that, you're like, I'm an idiot if I said that. But no physio says that. They're like, well, obviously rebook. Should be the same with us. I just gave you so much fucking advice to improve your health, get out of pain, whatever. Let's start working on it. Reframing it, I think, into, hey, mate, we got, like, how good was that? We just got more mobility in 5 minutes with your shoulder that's been causing you grief. I've actually got so much more value that I'd love to put a plan in place for you and map out for you. When are you free next week? I've got Wednesday at 3 or Friday at 2. Not would you like to, when are you free?
Yeah.
You have the solution that they need. And if you act in the air of like they're already going to sign up, then they will probably follow your lead. They can still turn around and say, oh, no, thank you. But it's much less likely. And you're best when you get them in person in front of you in that complimentary session. So you have to encourage them to get to there. Your sign-up rate is the thing that we know we can lean on, that you're strong in. So we've got to focus on bringing them there.
Yeah,
in the sense that they're already there.
Getting bums on seats.
Totally.
Sometimes if I focus too much on that, I feel like I become like the car salesman. So I try and have like a good conversation, get to know them and their pain, but also then ask the question. Make sure you ask the question.
And that doesn't have to take 4 conversations. I think this is the thing people think, like rapport has to be built over weeks and weeks. It's like, nah, bro. Like, I just went to a business networking event today, and in 5 minutes, I got 5 different phone numbers, and I will absolutely be calling them to see how we can network and partner and refer each other clients. Like, you can build instant connections. It doesn't have to be, oh, well, I gave them value, so now I'll just wait. Like, more is, like, people want this stuff. We're in our own heads about it. So, Herbie, my challenge to you is every time when you're walking the gym floor that you walk up to every single person, if you know you can help them and they would be better off with you than without you, you must get them booked in for a complimentary consult.
Yeah.
That is what you need to do. It is not and if you have that in your head of like, if I can help them, obviously is the metric. If you can't help them, don't, right? That's when you become sleazy. If you try and get money from someone you can't help.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're working with people who you're like, bro, change your program, do this, we need to do that. Have you added this? Is stretching included? Like, you have fucking answers. And they're better with you than without you. So it's your duty and it's your fucking obligation to say, hey, like,
I think it's probably my ability to get them to see what they're doing isn't working and it's been a problem for a while. And hey, there's the solution of this free consult. Come and try it and you can fix it. And then go from there. But it's probably like I have to get them to be aware of the problem and that they don't want it anymore. And this is the solution. I'm quite analytical in that way of thinking.
Totally.
If I can steer the conversation in 1, 2, 3, I think it'll work better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And find something, like I literally this is how I got my clients when I started. I would walk the gym floor and I'd be like, oh, bro, interesting that you're like squatting and like rotating to the left and also not squatting very deep, and we're kind of squatting the same weight. Like, you should probably be squatting more than me.
Yeah.
And I was leaning into the fact that I know that the bros at the gym had an ego.
Women squatting more than me.
And they're like, well, I don't want anyone else to squat, but this bullshit. And then I'm like, well, do you think that considering you have far more testosterone, I probably have some tactics and some strategies that could help you squat more? And then they'd be like, yeah. So then that was the buy-in, right? I had to muscle my way into some of them.
Right into pain.
But they're like, they're fucking hooked. They're like, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to find, and male ego is a pain point. So I like reached onto that and I was
rejected.
I was like, this is how we do it. But find out what their pain point is, or find something that, if one dude's benching every fucking day, Obviously he wants a bigger chest, but he's probably not eating properly or doing something else or recovering or whatever, right?
Right.
Like,
Okay.
ask for what
I
their
think
goals
I
are.
think I tend to look for mostly the mobility thing on the floor, but so if you just see someone who's training quite consistently, but you feel like their physique hasn't changed,
I will find anything. I
yeah.
will go,
Well, what's
like,
the conversation starter there? Your physique hasn't changed in months.
yeah. No, I just feel like, bro, I see that you're consistent as hell, and that's fucking epic. What are you training for?
Okay, yeah. How's that
So
going?
they're like,
Are you happy
cool.
with
They
that?
like feel good. And then they're like, yeah, I'm training to get a bigger, like, they're not training to stay the fucking same. They're training to do something. So they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, cool, can you show me a program? And they're like, oh, I don't really have a program. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. Because I'm not sure how you're going to get to that result without a program or a plan. So do you want some help with that? You're not asking them, do you want to pay me? Would you like me to give you some advice? Is basically you're opening up. Can I help you? Are you open to that? If they say no, then you go peace and you walk away. Most of the time, they're going to listen and hear you out. You give them a fuck ton of value and you're like, oh, well, obviously, but like high level, right? So you'd be like, oh, well, with your programming split, you'd probably want like a 3-2 with like upper lower, because at the moment it sounds like you're doing like individual body splits, and that's actually not been shown to be the best for hypertrophy. Obviously, you're trying to get gains like in your nutrition. Like, are you following 2 kilograms per kilo of body weight for your protein goals? And they're probably going like, what the fuck are all these new things that you're talking to me about? You're like, cool, like, well, why don't we book a time and we can actually, like, I've got to go, or I need to talk to some other people, but let's book a time where we can actually sit down. I've got a full hour blocked out where we can go through all this shit.
I like that. So the introduction is, hey, I see you're consistent and you're here all the time. What are you training for? And then start the conversation again. Sometimes I get worried about what do I say first?
Anything. Could be like, bro, your orange shoes are fucking sick. Where did you get them? That could be the start. Like, it doesn't just any sort of like, it's a one-liner. It's just you're in.
Yeah.
And then the next question is,
what
are
you training for?
Yeah. Okay. You got to get the goal out of them.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So the goal of floor walking isn't the necessary outcome of getting more leads, even though for me, if I focus too much on getting the lead,
one step at a time,
I tend to fuck it up. So I just want to know what they're training for, and then let things go organically.
Yeah. Okay. What's the training goal?
Yeah. What are you training for? Cool.
And if I can't pick anything up in what they're doing, if I don't see them moving in a way that I could help them physically with, like, oh, that's a weird movement, or they've got shoulder pain, let me do a stretch for them, then I'm like, show me your program. Can I have a look at it? Half the time they'll say I don't fucking have one. The other half the time they'll show you and you'll be like, that's shit. Those are the two options, really. Like, I've not seen a program I couldn't fix.
Yeah.
And if they're already with a coach and if they're already doing well or whatever, and if you're like, oh, I'd probably just change it. Like, not everyone's going to be a client, but you can still give advice.
Yeah. I think that's something that I also bugger up is like I give them the answers and say change this and that and say see you later. Whereas I would change your training and your nutrition. Why don't we sit down and have a deeper dive into what you're currently doing and see how changing these things fits in with your lifestyle and what's achievable, and let's set you up on the right path to getting your goal faster. Does that sound good? Something like that.
Pretty much, but I wouldn't ask them. I would tell them.
Okay.
I would say, awesome. Like, there's definitely some changes that can be made. Obviously, you don't want to be squatting this many times a week, or we want some changes here. Nutritionally, I've got a ton that I can of value to give you. I don't have time right now to go through all this. I'd love to find an hour next week where we can sit down together and do this. Does Thursday at 4 p.m. work for you?
Yeah.
That's what you say. And just, and then obviously grab their phone number, email, book them in, confirm it, all that sort of jazz. You know how to do that.
Yeah.
I have a tiny favor to ask of you, and that is to just hit that subscribe button if you have not done it yet. If you've made it this far, then I hope that this has been valuable for you and for us to get more incredible guests in front of your earlobes and faces. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please do that now. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for me, or something that was a golden nugget that really stood out to you in this episode, I would absolutely love if you flicked me a message over on Instagram at Xenia Wood Official. Until next episode, and in whatever you do, move swiftly.